Why, I guess about the worst that ever happened was in a tale that was wrote a long time ago by a fellow named William Shakespeare that lived over in the old country. You wouldn't want to hear about that early this morning, would you?
Yeah.
You would. Well, now, let's see if I can figure how it went. Now, let's see. Well, now, it's about this boy and girl named Romeo and Juliet that was in love of one another. And what Romeo used to do to see Juliet, he'd put on a disguise and go on over to her house. And he was over there this night. He was over there standing around the punch bowl and having a good time. And he seen Juliet come down these high steps, and he was so struck by her that he give a soliloquy right there.
What's a soliloquy, Pa?
Well, a soliloquy is where you kind of look away off and kind of talk to yourself.
Oh.
Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight. For I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
They used to do that a whole lot back then. You do it today and somebody will take you away. But that's what he was doing. And this fella Tybalt, a cousin of Juliet's, come on him with his sword drawn, ready to pick a fight with him right there. But Juliet's daddy, he didn't want no bloodshed right there in his living room. So all he done, he run Romeo off.
I would not for the wealth of all this town here in my house do him this banishment. Therefore have patience, take no note of it.
But Romeo didn't go straight home.
He didn't?
No. He went out and hid in the yard. And after a while, he seen this light come on over yonder. And he says, he says, hark. They said hark a whole lot back then. He says, hark, what light by yonder window shine?
What light through yonder window breaks?
Well, Juliet, she stepped out onto this stoop right then, and she gave a soliloquy. And somewhere in it, she says, Romeo, Romeo. She says, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Oh, Romeo, Romeo. Wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Well, he popped up and says, I'm right here. And that's where they had that balcony scene. And she got to talking to him. She says, hon, why don't you deny your daddy and change your name?
Deny thy father and refuse thy name.
And he answered her right back. He says, you can change the name of a rose, but you can't do nothing about the smell. Well, they decided right then they'd get married.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it. And yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
To be frank, and give it thee again.
And they went over to Friar Lawrence's house. He was the justice of the peace in the town in that day. Well, he married him. And he told Romeo that he ought to go off and lay low till he could explain things to their daddies.
Send her chamber hence and comfort her. But look thou stay not till the watch be set. For then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee home with 1,000 times more joy than thou wentest forth in lamentation.
And Romeo did. He went off. And before that Friar Lawrence could do that, why, Juliet's mama took a great notion that Juliet ought to get married to this other fella and kind of forget about Romeo.
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble prince, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
And then Juliet was in a bind. And she went over to Friar Lawrence, and he mixed her up a drink. And she drunk it, and it put her to sleep. And everybody thought she was dead. Oh, they had the prettiest funeral for her. Folks crying and carrying on, and they laid her out in this family tomb. before Friar Lawrence could get word to Romeo that she wasn't really dead, some of them mean boys that lived in that town told him that she was dead.
She's dead, my lord. She's dead. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault.
And Romeo, he figured life didn't hold nothing for him.
Then I defy you, stars.
And he went out and he got him this big can of lye to drink. And he went over there to where Juliet was laid out, and he kissed her.
Oh, you the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss a dateless bargain to engrossing death.
Let me tell you, that boy kissed her flat on the mouth. He says, with this kiss,
I die.
And he drunk the lye, and he fell out across to there. And he was a big boy for his age. And the impact of him falling on her woke Juliet up. And she woke up and seen Romeo a-laying dead there. And she took his pocket knife and run it into herself. And she expired. You see, their daddies could have saved themselves the expense of a double funeral if they would have just let them had a cheap wedding. But you see, they didn't know that till it was too late.
Boy, that Romeo and Juliet would sure make a good TV show.
Yeah, I reckon it would, Dad.